When originally released, The Queen's Gambit was very successful and won the attention of everyone, whether they're the slightest connection to chess or not. And finally, recently, I watched it and I think it's brilliant, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, everyone. Fictional Fanatics here to discuss why The Queen's Gambit works. Spoiler alert. Now, how the show is set up is something which I adore. We start with the classic trailer opening where it shows us one of the more exciting scenes in the show from later on, being in her second game against Sporgov. But what I find more interesting is how this whole scene is set up. It's not just showing that she has an important match in Paris, but it evokes a question from us. Why is she taking the pills? Who was in that bed? Why does she look so unprepared? Some of these questions get answered in the first episode, but some continue till right before the match, like 30 seconds. Like finding out who was in the bed, a mystery which had so many options throughout the show. Was it the mom? Was it Beltic? There's a lot of people who it could be, and it keeps flip-flopping. And the flow of the story in general is also really interesting. Best Life has so many different phases where starting in episode 1 to the end of another episode, it's just very different. In episode 1, she's at the orphanage. In the second one, she finds a family and plays in her first tournament. In the third, her father's in prison and goes to tournaments to earn a living. In episode 4, it's centered around the tournament in Mexico City and her mother dies. It moves very fast, but it provides for an interesting pacing. Although the episodes feel slow and like we have a bunch of time with the characters, we're moving around pretty quickly where episodes can span a few months. It strikes a great balance between rushing through the story so audience will not get bored, yet giving itself time to develop a story where there's something deeper than a checklist of scenes you need to cram in. And in a show like this, I feel like the most important part is getting right the characters, as if we don't enjoy the characters, there's nothing else for us to care about here. We need to care about Elizabeth if we're going to care about her games of chess, which is the whole show. And the characters deliver. Elizabeth is possibly one of the best characters on television. She's excellently written because she's very flawed yet also very likable. That show, one of her biggest problems is her addiction. It saddens you to see her taking drugs all the time, just like a family member with an addiction problem. Any good character has flaws, and here her flaws are things that are carrying the show and making us caring about her at all. We also have some great supporting characters. The first one is Moses Ingram's character Jolene. She provides the beginning for Beth's addiction by telling her to save the pills, unintentionally having Beth get addicted to them. And she just provides a way for Beth to gain street smarts and learn things that the school probably wouldn't teach her. Mr. Scheibel is one of my favorite characters as he acts as Beth's mentor, and he has this show that he puts up where he looks emotionless and has a straight face all the time, but you can really feel that he likes Beth, or like, not that way, but like, he has feelings and he's a good man. One of the best scenes is when Beth returns to the orphanage and takes the photo of the two of them when she was a lot younger. One, because the feelings Beth has and just all the emotions, it was a very emotional scene, and also just because the photo, he's extremely happy in it, but he has this like stern face, like it's funny and also just kind of sad. Next would be Miss Wheatley, who acts as a mother and agent, also a bit of a bad influence. She's always streaking and caused Beth to start drinking as well. Overall, she's a strong mother figure, who Beth will have to lose a second time. Harry Beltic, played by Dudley Dursley actor. For some reason, I thought it was Neville's. He looked familiar from Harry Potter, but I thought it'd be Neville, not Dudley. Yes, Dudley was bigger. Anyways, and Benny Watts are mentors who support her in different ways, and they complement each other, just on what they teach her. And one last thing I want to talk about is the finale. It's absolutely perfect. After we start with Jolene helping Beth get back on her feet and funding her trip to Russia, now we see Beth win game after game, even confronting people she admired and had studied tirelessly for years. We see her dump out all the pills for good. Each day when she returns to the hotel after her games, there's a bigger and bigger amount of fans there to see her. And at the end, she had her game against Borgov. She's doing better than before. But when they take a break for the day after meeting an old friend, and in the morning, she gets a call. Harry, Benny, and a bunch of her other chess friends were up all night studying her game to help her win. That's just such a cool concept and an emotional one. It not only shows that these people helped her got here, but also that they're going to take her to the finish line. And after she wins, she goes to this place where she's been driving by every day, where a bunch of people play chess together in this, like, community park, I guess. So she goes there where everyone's admiring her and just plays a game against an old man. Call back to Mr. Scheibel, you could say. I love that finale because it also shows her humility, and just your love of the game. It's such a great way to end the show, and just overall, this finale was perfect. The Queen's Gambit is an amazing show. It takes the concept of a girl who plays chess and turns it into this incredibly deep story of an orphan who finds safety in a chessboard, who confronts loss of loved ones, addiction, and mental health problems. It adds amazing characters, and when you put all that together, you have a show that not only works, but is brilliant. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and what do you think about the video? Was I on point, or was I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see me review the Disney Plus originals, check out this video, and until the next one, bye!